What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, check it out, man. If you want an evening of entertainment and you've kind of watched everything you want to watch on television, you're like, what am I going to do for the rest of the night to have some entertainment? Go on to X and hang out with a couple of these hashtags, like this one, hashtag Acolyte Season 2. And then there's another one here, hashtag Save the Acolyte. That's to go along with hashtag Redo the Acolyte. They are throwing new hashtags like every 5 seconds to try to get this thing off the ground. Look, you can hashtag this crap all you want to. It's not going to work. All right. If all the people that are sitting out here complaining and whining on the internet went back and watched the Acolyte about 20 or 30 more times, they might actually have some traction and might be able to make a case, because Disney is looking at the raw numbers. They could care less about this stuff. This stuff does not turn into money. I'm trying to tell y'all. If you want to get this thing going, you need to get out there and watch the Acolyte again and again and again. Social media does not matter to them. They are looking at the numbers. And I guarantee you, even after all of this hullabaloo came out after the cancellation, a lot of you guys went back and watched it. You probably recorded it and saved it to your disk drive, because that was the only way you were going to save the Acolyte. All right. It's to save it to your hard drive, because this thing is about to be bye-bye. You don't know how many more days this thing has on the platform. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, man. Look at all the hashtags that they got going on this thing. None of this is going to matter. Disney is not looking at this. They're looking at the numbers. Instead of sitting here making tweets and all of this stuff like that, you need to go and figure out how to watch the Acolyte 100 times. All right. But I mean, look what they're talking about, man. They say, dude bros, what do you want? The Acolyte fans, freedom. The freedom to enjoy Star Wars the way I like without having to answer to incels like you. Yeah, this is what they feel, man, that they got to answer to the incels. Look, you're not answering to incels. You're not answering to dude bros either. You're not answering to anybody but the viewership. If the viewership is trash, it really doesn't matter. Look, the dude bros can get out and trash talk this thing and dunk on it all day long online. They can go and give it an 18%. They can give it an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. Review bomb galore all across the platforms. If this thing is getting viewership, Disney is like, season 2, full steam ahead. That's exactly what's going to happen. It has nothing to do with incels and dude bros. It has to do with not enough people watch the show. I don't understand why they don't get this. This is straightforward math, man. If you don't watch a show when it's on television, look, I made this same point when it came to Black Adam with Henry Cavill, okay? You guys will remember, if you watch those videos I did back then, I was saying, hey, I went out and watched Black Adam 3 times. I watched that joint 3 times in theaters. Why? Because I wanted to see Henry Cavill return as Superman. It was that important to me. And I did videos and I was talking about it. And so when the box office was coming out, I was like, look, y'all, all right, Warner Brothers is looking at the bottom line. They don't care about all your loot. Oh, man, I love Black Adam. And all the audience scores were looking great. How much money is this thing making? If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And that was the one opportunity. You know, Henry Cavill came out, made the big announcement. Hey, I'm back as Superman, had them all on Instagram and the S on his chest. They did all of that work to say, what are you going to give us, DC fans? And nobody went and watched the film. I said, if you wanted Henry Cavill to be back like y'all said y'all did, that needed to be a $1 billion movie. And look, I get it. It was The Rock. There's all kinds of problems with The Rock. There's this, there's that. But look, that's what DC was looking at, or Warner Brothers was looking at. They were looking at the bottom line. It's the exact same thing here. It doesn't matter what you guys say. It doesn't matter what the haters say. What do the numbers say? What does the box office say? What does the viewership say? That's how Hollywood works. So if you want stuff to take off, all right? And look, I had to eat it. I was like, damn, I guess Henry Cavill ain't coming back. I guess he's just not going to be back because there wasn't enough interest. And I just had to swallow it and say, all right, there you go. That's what y'all got to figure out to do, man. Because look, all of this stuff right here, all of these little memes and everything, viewership. That's the only thing Disney's looking at. Yeah, you got another guy. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Save the Acolyte, renew the Acolyte. So here's this person. Listen to this, right? Kill the narrative that the Acolyte didn't perform well compared to other Disney shows. The other shows were based on established characters and already had a dedicated fan base and audience to start with. Now, that's true. All right. The other shows like Ahsoka, there's connections to Ahsoka, right? You know, there's people that are going to watch it based on, you know, Clone Wars and the Rebels. And then obviously you had Book of Boba Fett connected to Boba Fett. You know, you had Obi-Wan connected to Obi-Wan. Mando kind of wasn't connected to anything really, but, you know, it's the first Star Wars thing. You had a Mandalorian, you had Baby Yoda, you know, so there was some connectivity there. But yeah, he's right. There was really nothing connecting the Acolyte to anything but the High Republic. You know, and they kind of made a point of doing that. In contrast, the Acolyte introduced us to a completely new era of Star Wars in live action with new original characters. And against all odds, it still performed well. It didn't. If it performed well, it would have got renewed. Don't be misled. The Acolyte is not a failed project. The real failure lies in Disney's reluctance to take risks and allow original ideas to flourish. I mean, God, man. All right, look, let's use a different tactic, okay? Let's use an analogy, all right? Let's use the analogy tactic. Let's say you own a restaurant, all right? You own a big, popular restaurant. It's known all over the world. People love your menu. People are always coming to check you out. And one day the head chef walks up to you and says, hey, boss, I want to add a new dish to the menu, okay? I got this new dish. I've been working on the recipe, all right? It's called the Acolyte. You know, that's the new dish I want to add to this very popular restaurant's menu. But it's not going to be cheap. It's going to be very expensive, okay? Because I got to fly ingredients in from all over the world, and they got to be fresh. They got to be here in a certain amount of time. So this ain't going to be cheap, all right? It's going to cost us a lot to make. But spare no expense. Trust me, it's going to bring a lot of boys to the yard. It's going to get a lot of people to come in to the restaurant. It's going to be phenomenal. You know, and then you as the boss say, all right, go ahead. You know, do whatever it is you got to do. Make that Acolyte dish. And so the head chef, to the best of their ability, makes the dish according to their own recipe, and it comes out to be a giant disaster, and nobody orders the dish. Hardly anybody orders this thing. It's just sitting there, and you've got all these ingredients in your fridge, storing up. It's like, man, nobody's ordering this. We can't use these ingredients for anything else. You know, nobody's ordering this dish. What would you, as the boss of the restaurant, do? Would you just keep making the dish? No, you're going to pull it off the menu. You're not going to make this thing month after month after month, right? Because hardly anybody is eating it. And the people that are ordering it or are eating it, all right, it's not enough to justify the cost of the dish. You just can't justify it. It's just too much money for not enough return on your investment. That's all there is to this, okay? The Acolyte dish completely sinks this restaurant, all right? It completely destroys the restaurant because you're pouring so much money into this. It's like, look, we're not getting any return on the investment. We got to pull the plug and start investing our, getting other dishes, the other food that we make that does make this restaurant popular. All right. Let's go back and make that stuff. That's the stuff that made the restaurant popular. We should go back and make those dishes and leave those dishes on the menu and pull this Acolyte dish off because it doesn't make any damn sense to have it. Does that make sense to you morons out there? All of you whiners and complainers? Do you understand the business side of this thing? It's not about the toxic dude bros and the incels and all of that stuff. It comes down to viewership. That's it. That's all. And look, never forget how they were treating people that were critical of the Acolyte. They were laughing and having a blast, man. Look at this person, hell. I genuinely hope the Acolyte has dude bros tweaking to such a degree that they finally get traumatized enough to quit Star Wars like they insist they will every time new content comes out since the 2000s. Talking about Star Wars theory, getting pissed at how shitty this damn show was. All right? And yeah, the dude bros, this is what happened. The dude bros left it alone, and so did everybody else that actually cared about Star Wars and watched it. They walked all the way to hell up out of here, all right? They got up out of their chairs and they left, and they never came back to Disney Plus. I want you to consider something else, all right? Consider something else. This thing is free to watch. If anybody has Disney Plus, you can easily go and watch The Acolyte. There was no barrier of entry other than having Disney Plus. And apparently enough people have Disney Plus out there where if enough people watch this show, should have had no problem turning some sort of a return on the investment that Disney put into it, that Lucasfilm put into it. It's not like everybody had to cough up like 40, 50 bucks to sit down and watch The Acolyte. It was free of charge. You can go and watch it right now, but nobody wants to. They don't want to go and look, I got the service, it's free, I can just go and watch it. Nobody's doing that. That's the problem. I want you to consider that piece of it as well. It's not like a movie where you actually got to come out your pocket. You already have Disney Plus. For those that have it, hashtag cancel Disney Plus, shout out to GraphWeb. And some people don't even have to pay for Disney Plus. They got it as a part of their cable package. I want to say it's Charter or somebody. Remember that whole dispute that Disney and Charter got into? And they had to basically just cough up Disney Plus with ads. They had to give that to Charter. So there's people running around right now that don't even pay for Disney Plus. And they couldn't be bothered to watch this shit. Yeah, and in this headline on this website, The Aftermath, the Acolyte and the unseen Star Wars fan, Disney needs to decide which fans, creators, and stories matter. I'm going to tell you right now, the stories that matter are the ones that people go out and watch. The ones that people go out to watch. Disney and Lucasfilm are not in the business of charity. These people want charity, man. They just want Disney to just make stuff just for them, regardless if anybody else watches it or not. It's very selfish when you sit back and think about it. I want Star Wars that everybody loves. They want Star Wars that only they love and nobody else cares. Like, oh, nobody gave a damn about it, but I like it, so keep making it. You know, that's what, again, you know, the stories that matter are the ones that people watch. The creators that matter are the ones that are making the stories that people watch. And then the fans are the people that have been rocking with Star Wars forever. They got Star Wars merch piled up to the ceiling and they're looking to buy more. If this stuff is making money for Disney, they're not going to pull the plug on it. All right. Notice something else. Notice the diminishing returns with the sequel trilogy, you know, and then all of a sudden what happened? No more movies. All right. That last movie, The Rise of Palpatine, barely scrapes above $1 billion. And it probably broke even. Maybe. I don't know. We really don't know the budgets of all of these things, but it barely scraped over $1 billion. And Disney thought, nope, nah, we doing something wrong. Pull the plug. And we haven't seen a Star Wars movie since. It's been 5 years. And the next one is supposed to come out 2 years from now. So it's going to be 7 years. If they do get Mando and Grogu off the ground, it's going to be 7 years between Star Wars movies because they saw what was going on. They saw the box office. They saw how bad it was. They were like, we can't keep doing this. And the same thing exists with the Acolyte. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I absolutely love this headline right from the Mary Sue. Disney is happy to let the toxic dude bros win, I guess. No, it's not about that, Rachel Leichman, all right? It's not about the toxic dude bros winning. You're not mad that the toxic dude bros, quote unquote, won because we really didn't win anything. A shitty show got canceled. That's really not a win for us, all right? The toxic dude bros were right, and you don't like being wrong. The toxic dude bros told everybody that would listen, look, this isn't going to work. Star Wars fans are not going to be rocking with this. I'm sorry. You're not going to get a lot of people to watch these shows. You're going to get more and more diminishing returns. People are just going to start checking out. You're not going to get the Star Wars fans on board, and you're not going to get any casuals on board. The only people that are going to be on board are the people that like this silly bullshit. All right. All the representation and DEI and all of that kind of crap. And people just want good storytelling. And that's what the toxic dude bros, the quote unquote toxic dude bros have been telling you this entire time. It's not that we got a victory because we don't want to see shitty Star Wars either. We're not trying to see this trash. But what we do want is we want quality storytelling that fits within the Star Wars universe, that feels like Star Wars, that has great character writing, great direction, great action, great storytelling. That's what we're looking for. And that's not what the Acolyte was. I'm sorry. All right. So, yeah, you can sit up here and say, oh, the Acolyte was a new and exciting show for the Star Wars franchise, but it wasn't. Not for the majority of Star Wars fans, which is why nobody watched the show. Do you guys understand that? You served up a dish in your restaurant that's very popular and had all kind of people coming to check it out, but nobody bought the dish, all right? Or maybe they did a little sampler when they walked in the door. They said, okay, let's sample it, see if I'm going to order this on the menu. They was like, nope, not for me. And they just ordered something else. That's all it is to it, man. I'm telling you, it's just strictly business, all right? It ain't really even personal. I'm pretty sure Disney would have loved to continue the Acolyte, but they just can't justify the cost. And that's all it is to it, y'all. All right, anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We're trying, okay? We're reaching out a little olive branch. Hey, maybe I can explain it to you this way, all right? Is it finally sinking in? This has nothing to do with toxicity. It doesn't even really have anything to do with DEI and representation and LGBTQ and hating and all of that crap. It comes straight down to the numbers. How was the viewership? It was lousy. Off. We're done, all right? But y'all let me know what y'all think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.